Hi again, everybody. Don Fortune and Chris Carenza back in Pittsburgh, where the Comets and the Spirit are all tied up 1-1 after the first half of play. And surprising, perhaps, Chris, that we saw a low-scoring game in the first half of play, since both of these teams can score. And whenever you've got people like Terlecki, a 46-goal scorer, or Paul Child on the floor, 35 goals, or on 33, you figure the ball's going to go in the net a few times.
I'll tell you, I'm really surprised, Don, especially with the styles of play that both of these teams utilize. They're both very similar in that they try to play 100% offense, 100% defense, the quick transition, quick counter, and both teams have been doing that. And the Comets have had trouble in getting in behind the Pittsburgh defense. And I think that's why Pittsburgh's been so successful. On the one goal that we did score, they were able to penetrate with Elson Seal, and he did put it in the back of the net.
All right, let's take a look at what happened here, because it was a penalty kick that gave Pittsburgh their only goal. And oddly enough, it was Elson Seal who figured in the penalty right here, as well as Kansas City's only goal. Seal right there pulls down number 9, Steve Buttle, and he really didn't have much choice, did he?
No, it didn't look like it. Paul Child did a good job of getting that ball across to him.
And then McCluskey, Pat McCluskey, took the penalty kick right here. Instead of Terlecki, a 46-goal scorer, they give it to McCluskey, and he pounds it home just over the right shoulder of Petroni. The ball may have even touched him, I don't know. But in any case, it was 1-0 Pittsburgh on the penalty kick with 2:33 to go. Let's watch it one more time as McCluskey takes it.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Victor has no choice. He just has to take a chance and guess to a direction. He guesses left, and McCluskey very intelligently just pushes the ball in the back of the net.
So Elson Seal's penalty in the penalty box area is what set up the penalty kick, and that made it 1-0 Pittsburgh at 2:33 in the first quarter. But it was Seal who then saved the Comets from embarrassment. They had never been shut out in the first half of a game this season, and with just 7 seconds left, Elson Seal makes a miraculous play here on this shot by Greg Mikowski.
Great ball from Greg Mikowski, winds up with his left foot just inside the red line, hits a hard shot, and Elson Seal, you're going to see him just deflect it lightly with the inside of his right foot heel into the back of the net. It's just going in. Beautiful effort from Elson Seal.
Going into tonight's game, the St. Louis Steamers were 2.5 games back of the Comets in third place. Kansas City was in second place, a half game back of San Diego. Actually, 2.5 games back of San Diego with St. Louis. Kansas City a half game back. Steamers are playing tonight in Memphis, and that game is scoreless at the end of the first quarter. So it's important for Kansas City to win tonight to get back into a tie for first place with San Diego. That young man, number 23, Tommy Alioto, made his first start of the year last Tuesday night against Steve Jungle. Tonight he's making his second start of the year, and he's facing Stan Terlecki, a 46-goal scorer. And I tell you, he doesn't seem intimidated at all. The rookie's doing okay.
Not in the least, Don. Tommy Alioto has shown great character the whole season. He hasn't been getting any time. Pressed into service from a couple of injuries to the Comet defenders, and he's been doing a great job for us. Came in last week and played against Jungle, as you mentioned. He's playing against Terlecki tonight, and he's doing a great job. He's showing poise and character, and he's got good distribution, and he goes forward. He still has the courage, even though he's a rookie, to take the initiative, assume some responsibility, and go forward with the ball. He's so quick that sometimes he makes a mistake tactically, but he's able to make up for those mistakes because he's so quick. He's just been doing a great job for us.
I know one guy I'm sure that's pulling for him is Clive Griffiths, who he's replacing, and I know Clive wants to see that young man do well, and he certainly has done well here again tonight. Tommy Alioto just playing very superb. Kansas City, by the way, has always struggled in the first quarter. In fact, in their last 7 games, the Comets have been outscored in the first quarter 13-9. Tonight, they were just shut out in the first quarter. So that really is not a first quarter team, is it?
No, not at all, Don. But at the same time, I think when Pat talked to him in that timeout, he said, just play your game and stick to the game plan, and it's going to happen for you. 13
games left in the schedule after tonight for Kansas City, and the schedule doesn't treat them very kindly because 8 of those 13 are on the road. There's only 5 games left at Kemper Arena. This game marks the start of an 8-game string in which 7 will be away from home. The only time the Comets will be home in the next 8 games is coming up on March 21st. And by the way, that's against Cleveland, and it'll be TV5 and Toyota night at Kemper. Here we go. In the second half of play, we're all tied up. Pittsburgh won and Kansas City won. Don Fortune and Chris Carenza with you, and nice to have you with us on TV5. Out in front, here's Terlecki in the D. Terlecki in the corner tries to set up Graham Fife, and Yilmaz Oran is there for the Comets. Back comes Oran. Oran to Zoran Savic at center on a give and go, looking for Oran breaking in. Pass a little bit long, and Pittsburgh controls. Now for the Spirit, John O'Hara. O'Hara has Savage on him. O'Hara plays it in the corner. Now back up to the point. This is Graham Fife. Graham Fife at center for Pittsburgh. Just underway in the second half. Tie game 1-1. Terlecki. Alioto's on him. Oh, the kid has really had his hands full. In the corner now. Ostalchik shot is wide. I get hung up on that one every now and then, Karenza. That guy's got a mouthful for a name. Greg Ostalchik, number 16 for Pittsburgh.
I noticed a lot of Polish guys on this team.
I noticed that too. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that their coach, John Kowalski, is from Poland. And isn't that true that clubs that are dominated by foreign players tend to be of the nationality, obviously, of the head coach in most instances?
Imagine that.
Sobieski, the keeper tonight, has played superb, and so has Victor Petroni for Kansas City. Both goalkeepers played well. There's Fredrickson. Now that shot by Topolsky, loose out in front. Tommy Alioto gets it out of there. Topolsky winds up. It's grabbed by Petroni in the box. Good play again by Alioto.
Tommy did a good job in there for us on that play.
Here's Oron looking for Savage in the left corner. Savage checked by Topolsky. Zoran still has it. Savage, give and go to Oron. Topolsky, Savage off the wall, looking for Handlin. Broken up by George Tiger, and Sobieski will roll it out. There's Mark Fredrickson right there. Now watch Alioto right there. Just manages to get it out of there. Watch him. Breaks right out there. Good play by Alioto.
We mentioned earlier, Tommy remains very composed in situations like this, and he's so quick he can make up for some of the lack of experience that he has by his quickness. He just reached in there and poked that ball away out of danger.
12:13 to go in the third quarter as Giraldi heads it up into the seats and out of play. Spirit will get the kick in. There's McKenzie, number 2. Dave McKenzie from Scotland will get the kick in. Now to Steve Buttle. Buttle winds up with a hard left-footed shot. Goal! Number 12, Paul Child, on the rebound off the glass, has given the Spirit the lead. Child gets his 36th goal of the year, and with 12:05 left in the third quarter, it's Pittsburgh 2 and Kansas City 1. Paul Child gets the rebound off the glass, and right there gets the goal.
You see Steve Buttle hit the ball off the plexiglass, and hits the ball off the plexiglass here. It comes back out to Paul Child, and it's what they try to do with Paul Child all the time. He's a very opportunistic player. He loves to play off the boards. He gets in tight, and he finishes this one with no mistake.
Paul Child gets his 36th goal of the year. Buttle gets the assist. The goal coming at 2:55. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh, and here we go with a free kick by Keith Tozier for Pittsburgh. There's Tozier. Elson Seal is on him. 2-1. Spirit on top. Tozier losing it to Timmy Clark. Now Clark for Kansas City. Clark taken away by Paul Toomey. Toomey is shot. Hamlin stopped that one out in front. And then Giraldi played it to Petroni. Petroni has Amlong in the Pittsburgh zone. Good play by McKenzie, who was all over Amlong. Elson Seal with that shot off the boards. They'll wait for it to come down. Kevin Hamlin has it. Now Timmy Clark off the boards. Ooh. Amlong went down hard. They lay the carpet down here in Pittsburgh right on the ice, just like they do in New York and the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. Hamlin will get the free kick, plays it to Alioto. His shot is blocked in the D. Really a hard surface when you come down on it, Chris. There's no padding underneath it. Now Keith Tozier. Here's Tozier, 3-on-2 for Pittsburgh. Joe Maroney. Comets come away with it. Good defense by Kansas City. Now Elson Seal at center. Long pass for Gary Amlong. Amlong in a foot race that time with Paul Toomey. Amlong still has it. Now Tozier's on him. And here's Clark. Clark over to Fredrickson. Fredrickson looking for Amlong. Got to give give Pittsburgh credit, boy. They're making it tough for Kansas City to penetrate in that box, aren't they, Chris?
If you look out there now, Pittsburgh has 3 players behind the Comet offense. They collapse that defense, they get numbers on defense, and it's almost impossible to penetrate. You got to give credit to Pittsburgh defense.
You know what you got to do for me? You got to find out why Paul Toomey, who is an American from Connecticut, why he wears running shoes instead of soccer shoes. We still haven't come to an answer on that.
He's under contract to Nike.
Must be it, huh?
He looks like he's out there for a Sunday afternoon jog.
Here's Graham Fife, his shot. Young man from Scotland, and Petroni has that one. Now Alioto will bring it up with 9:35 to go in the third quarter, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh.
We'd like to congratulate Comets President Tracy Leiweke and General Manager Tim Leiweke. They've just been named the Marketing Executives of the Year by the Sales and Marketing Executives of Kansas City. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time that sports administrators have received this very prestigious award.
Is that a paid political announcement, Carenza?
Come on, give me a break.
Here's John O'Hara playing it up to the point. Pittsburgh will drop back and set it up at center. Well, needless to say, Tracy and Tim have certainly done a great job. Witness the 16,000 people that keep showing up at Kemper Arena every night to see this team play. It's quite a turnaround. In fact, when I walked into the building here tonight, one of the first things one of the Pittsburgh people asked us is, what the heck are you doing in Kansas City to average over 14-5 a game? It's quite a story all around the league.
And the answer is the Leiweke brothers.
All right, Charlie Carey now as Sobieski goes down on the play. Here's Terlecki trying to get it out of there. Makowski winds up from on the top point, and it's stopped out in front of the D. Here comes Pittsburgh. Adam Topolsky at center. Pittsburgh with a 3-on-2. Terlecki on the left wing. Good play by Gino Schiraldi, who hustled back on Terlecki. Nice play. Great back checking that time by Gino. Now Gino leading the charge. Charlie Carey tries to play it to Schiraldi, who was breaking in deep on the play. Carey goes down. No whistle. Terlecki right back for Pittsburgh. Terlecki, a long shot. Petroni stopped that one. Topolsky shot, and Makowski stopped that one. Here's Makowski and Topolsky going at it. What a collision right there. Kaboom.
Boy, Charlie gets knocked down here. That's by John O'Hara. That was really a questionable call for me.
Al Carey was looking to pass to Gino Schiraldi, who was wide open on his right wing. Now Stan Terlecki. Boy, this guy is something else. Again, Schiraldi got a piece of that one as Terlecki let it go. And the Comets clear at the center.
Well, that last sequence of events was a good example of end-to-end play by both teams. High transition from offense to defense, quick counters, end-to-end on the floor.
We talk about Tommy Alioto, but Mr. Schiraldi's doing quite a job out there tonight. Schiraldi's been bothered by a bone chip in his ankle. Came back maybe a game too soon last week. He's also fighting a very bad cold. Here's Pittsburgh again. Petroni got that one. Oh, my gosh, Paul Child almost had another goal. Here come the Spirit one more time. Here's Child on a give and go. Child off the wall on in front goal. George Tiger. It is 3-1 Pittsburgh as the Spirit had the pressure on. The Comets return on TV5 in a moment. Tiger gets his 7th goal of the year as Child gave him a great pass right off the wall. And there you see George Tiger putting it in the net. Pittsburgh had a couple of good opportunities there. The goal coming at 8-12. It is 3-1 Pittsburgh.
Again, you see Paul Child play the ball off the boards, and Gino Schiraldi looked to me like he was trying to get off the floor, and he got caught out late on that shift. Didn't get back in time. George Tiger was able to make a good run in behind him, and Child found him off the boards.
Comets are going to have to come from behind now. They're down by 2 with 6:24 to go in the third quarter. It's 3-1 Pittsburgh.
It looked to me like Gino was a little tired on that play getting back. A couple of seconds earlier as the play was developing, he was trying to get off the floor to make a shift change.
Here's a 2-on-1 now. Zoran Savic The shot, and Savage just off the mark on a beautiful pass from Yilmaz Orhan, who somehow got around McKenzie.
Great ball from Yilmaz Orhan to Zoran Savage. Good shot from Zoran. It's just unfortunate those balls aren't going in. The Comets are getting their opportunities, but at the same time, they're just not going in for them tonight.
A lot of close calls, but no cigar. Now McKenzie for Pittsburgh. McKenzie in the corner. Here's Graham Fife, or Hamlin rather, battling with Steve Buttle. Comes back up top. Toomey puts it in, headed away by Alioto. Oh, Tozier hit the post after Terlecki got it out of there on a scissors kick. That one stopped out in front by Timmy Clark. Here come the Comets. Clark running all the way on this play on the left wing, but McKenzie tackled it away. Look at Orhan all over Paul Child that time. Crowd was roaring as Orhan grabbed Child from behind. They thought there should have been a call. Now McKenzie for Pittsburgh. The Spirit in this third quarter, just like in the first quarter, really has the heat on. Child rolls that one towards the net. And Petroni comes up throwing. Here's Savage for Kansas City. Zoran Savage had a couple of close calls tonight, has it tackled away by Toomey. Now Terlecki, but Timmy Clark has it. Terlecki! Good play by Petroni. And it's in the seats on a play.
Fans are calling for 2 minutes on that play by Victor Petroni, but as Terlecki went around Mark Frederickson, Victor very alertly came out, took charge, made a sliding tackle, and the ball went into the upper deck.
The Comets, as we mentioned, starting with this game, a string of 8, 7 away from home, and on the road, Kansas City going into this game 7-8. Pretty respectable if you can play close to 500. Look at the battling out in front there with Schiraldi. A win tonight, if they could win this game, would even up their record away from home at even 500. Now Sobieski has it, as Elson Seal was right on him. Sobieski rolling it out to John O'Hara. O'Hara to Tozier at center. 4:25 to go now, third quarter, 3-1 Pittsburgh. Here's Mikowski all over Terlecki. It's getting a little physical out there now. And a whistle, and a call is on Terlecki that time. He gets called for pushing. I would say maybe so, huh?
That's a very good call, and you don't see that a lot of referees will miss that call, but Stan Terlecki was using his hands to keep Greg Mikowski from playing the ball. That was a good call. Coach Pat McBride does rate this referee, Julio Salas, as one of the best in the league.
There's Gino Schiraldi now changing his shoe and tying it up right there. And here we go. He just barely got it tied. Schiraldi doesn't look too happy right now as he takes the free kick. There's a whistle here. He thought the ball was ready to be played, but the referee right there, Julio Salas, wants it back. Take a look at Schiraldi here. Take a look right here. Oh, yeah. Get that elbow up there, Gino. Yeah, just a little love tap right there from Gino Schiraldi. Back to live action. Here's Mikowski. He has it tackled away by Adam Topolsky. Kansas City is down by 2 goals. Mark Frederickson plays it in the Pittsburgh zone. His long shot is grabbed easily by Sobieski, who comes up throwing for Tozier. Tozier over the Kansas City line. Tozier to Joe Maroney. Here's Maroney over on the far side. Topolsky winds up. His shot hit the post. Topolsky hit the post. Petroni got a break that time. It could have been 4-1 Pittsburgh. Watch this shot by Topolsky.
Topolsky winds up on the right side. It looks to me like Victor just gets a fingertip on it and touches it into the post. Otherwise, that ball would have been a goal.
He got the carom. That shot by Mikowski is wide as we come back to live action. The pace of this game quickening here in the third quarter. Look out, Joe Maroney. Maroney. Petroni was out of the net. Maroney centering pass, nobody there. Now O'Hara for Pittsburgh. O'Hara marked by Gary Amlong. Plays it back out the center. Here's Topolsky. Off the wall. Amlong can't get it. Mikowski now for Elson Seal. Here's Elson coming back. OT they call it. 4 overtime goals for winners this year. Here's Stuart Lee. Lee. And Sobieski gets that one.
Here you see the Pittsburgh transition game. Maroney takes the ball in on Victor, and Victor just pushes the ball wide. so that Maroney can't get the second touch and put it in the back of the net. That was a great save from and very alert on Victor Petroni.
Back to live action. Here come the Spirit one more time. Here's Topolsky, who just barely had a goal. Almost had one a second ago. Terlecki, goal! Stan Terlecki. Fife was following up on the rebound, but that one was all Terlecki. The Spirit have taken a 4-1 lead here with 2:07 to go in the third quarter. Watch Topolsky here get the assist on Stan Terlecki's goal to make it 4-1 Pittsburgh.
It's very unfortunate for the Comets. Terlecki winds up, the ball deflects off a defender, Kevin Hanlon. Victor has no chance for it. Terlecki has such an outstanding shot. He really lets go with a very strong right foot here. Hits the shot, deflects off Kevin Hanlon. Victor's already down on the ground ready to make the save, and it just goes in just over his outstretched hands. That's really an unfortunate goal against the Comets.
Tough break. It was off to Hanlon, as you said. The midfielder was right there for Terlecki. That's his 47th goal of the year.
The Comets had it covered. It's just unfortunate. It's one of the things about indoor that happens frequently. It's just one of those ricochet goals that you can't do anything about.
All right, 4-1 Pittsburgh with less than 2 minutes to go. Back come the Spirit, but Hanlon breaks up the play. And Petroni can't find a man open at center and rolls it back out to Kevin Hanlon. Well, a 3-goal lead, as you know, means nothing in this league. We saw what happened with Kansas City with a 3-goal lead just 1 week ago tonight against Wichita at almost this precise time in the game.
No doubt about it. Anything can happen in indoor.
Comets got 3 goals in that third quarter. Now tonight, Pittsburgh has 3 goals in the third quarter, but anything can happen in this game. Kansas City's only goal tonight by Elson Seal. His 25th goal of the year. It's 4-1 Pittsburgh. All right, Hanlon now over the Pittsburgh line. Over to Tim Clark. Tim Clark trying to make a move on his man. Timmy Clark gets the shot off, and Sobieski got a foot on it and got it up in the glass in the seats. They like that one. Don't forget, next week it's Hollywood's Great Spectaculars Week on Monday and Tuesday. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton star in Cleopatra. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, Paul Newman and Eva Marie Saint star in Exodus. That's next week on the TV5 afternoon movie at 3. Don't miss it. Whistle now, a foul, and it's called against Pittsburgh. Our dangerous play for against the Spirit. So Stuart Lee will take the kick in at the touchline in the corner. Stuart Lee looking for Carey out in front. He gets pushed down by Toomey. Now Alioto goes down, and Sobieski finally has it. Sobieski plays it over on the right side, and the Spirit will bring it up with 35 seconds left in the third quarter. In the corner, battling for it there, George Tiger and Timmy Clark. A whistle and a foul against Pittsburgh. A lot of fouls called against the Spirit in this game, Chris. They're very much a physical team. They will clutch and grab and push at you, won't they? That's
right. Pittsburgh uses the physical tactics to throw the other team off their game. They try to intimidate physically so that it disrupts your flow and your rhythm. And so far, they've been doing a good job of it.
There's Coach Sobieski playing with it with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. In the Kansas City zone, Timmy Clark chasing it down. Paul Child with him as Clark scissors it out of there. And there's the horn. That's the end of the third quarter. So the Comets have got an uphill battle here in the fourth and final period. They are down by 3. Our score, Pittsburgh 4, Kansas City 1. Right back for the fourth quarter after this from Anheuser-Busch. Don Fortune and Chris Carenza back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Nice to have you with us on TV5 as we get set to go here in the fourth quarter. Shots on goal through 3 quarters. It's been all Pittsburgh, Chris. And certainly that's the story in the third quarter, as the Spirit coming up with 3 goals to break a 1-1 tie and take a 4-4 lead. Here's the first one, right there off the wall. The shot by Buttle. Paul Child drills it past Victor Petroni, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh as Child gets his 36th goal of the year. That made it 2-1 Pittsburgh at 2:55 in the third quarter. Then at the 8:12 mark, watch George Tiger on an assist here from Child. Child off the wall. Schiraldi maybe a little bit slow to cover Tiger, who gets it past Petroni, and that makes it 3-1 Pittsburgh at 8:12 in the third quarter. And then The big gun, Stan Terlecki, gets his 47th goal of the year. He chases the ball down off the wall here on a shot by Topolsky, and Hanlon right there got a foot on it, but just got the wrong carom. It went in the net. That came at 12:53 of the third quarter. It made it 4-1 Pittsburgh, and that's where we stand. And as you mentioned, Chris, you couldn't do much better than that defensively. As far as Pittsburgh was concerned, they just got a bad, Kansas City was concerned, they just got a bad break on that last goal.
It was a really unfortunate break on that last goal. Kansas City has been a little frustrated throughout this game, but you really got to give Pittsburgh credit that their collapsing defense has been able to get behind the Comet offense, and they have numbers on defense. They have more people on defense than the Comets are able to produce on offense, and it's just been real frustrating for the Comets.
Well, when you get outshot 26-14, that also tells you a big story too, doesn't it?
It sure does.
In the fourth quarter, just before play, of course, Pat McBride conferred with his team on the bench, and what can you tell him? You're down by 3 with a quarter left to go. It's not an insurmountable lead, but it has been a game dominated by Pittsburgh, certainly in the third quarter. What do you say to him?
Well, I think Pat was telling them that, you know, it has been frustrating for them. They've been thrown off their game by the physical tactics, and Pittsburgh is really come out with all their guns blasting tonight. You got to remain composed. You got to play with your poise. Stick to the game plan, and you have time. Just take the goals as they come and try not to panic.
Oh, that time Topolsky hit the post for the second time tonight, followed his own shot, but it was blocked out in front. It was almost a 5-1 game. Terlecki will take the kick in for Pittsburgh. Whistle again, and let's see what we get called here this time as the referee Julio Salas blew a whistle. Don't know what the second whistle was for, but Terlecki's going to bring the ball back and start it to play again. There's a look at the Kansas City bench, and Pat McBride, Stuart Lee right there, yelling some words of encouragement to his teammates, who are down right now by 3. Now Elson Seal in the corner. Terlecki has it for Pittsburgh. Terlecki will play it to Topolsky. Topolsky, a long drive way up in the seats, out of play to stop the clock. Be sure to join Kansas City's favorite fisherman, Virgil Ward, as he fishes for black bass in southern Missouri on Championship Fishing tomorrow at 5 on TV5.
It's been a problem when you give a player like Topolsky enough time. On this ball, he hits it over the top of the plexiglass. You notice that right behind the goal, the plexiglass is lower than the plexiglass on the sides. I don't know how they designed this place, Don.
Well, the plexiglass here is higher because of the fact that an NHL team uses this same building, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the glass is higher for hockey. But somehow they took out a section there. It's brand new glass. It's very clear, as you can see. There's very clear and easy to see through. It's a different kind of glass than I've seen, but I wonder why it's lower over the goal.
I can't figure that out. I think they'd keep it uniform all the way around behind the goal.
Penguins will be in here tomorrow night to play hockey against the Chicago Blackhawks. So this building is very busy, and this carpet, as I mentioned, is right down on top of the ice. Now Terlecki. Terlecki shot along the near boards. It's blocked by Kevin Hanlon. Hanlon digs it out of there. Can't get it out of the zone. Now Timmy Clark for Kansas City. Comets down 4-1. 12:55 to go in the game. Here's Elson Seal. Elson Seal tackled away by Tozier. But Gino Schiraldi has it. Schiraldi, as I mentioned, still not 100% on that foot. Also battling a cold, had a little bit of a temperature. He thought when he got up this morning may have the flu, but he's not about to stay out of action. He's just too tough a competitor. There's Gino right there. Now Timmy Clark. Clark puts it in deep. Elson Seal there. Seal can't get to it. Greg Ostalczyk plays it over on the far boards, and back come the Pittsburgh Spirit 3-on-2. Clark broke that one up. Now Petroni throwing long for Elson Seal at center. Nice pass. Seal has it. He's got Stuart Lee in deep in front of the goal. Here's Stuart Lee now. Stuart Lee back to Elson. Elson, nice pass. Fredrickson, a drive just off the mark. Good pass by Elson Seal, Chris.
Brilliant ball by Elson Seal and a brilliant ball by Stuart Lee. Great shot by Freddie. But again, the Comets just a little frustrated in their shooting. They've been getting the good shots off, getting good passes, but the balls just haven't been going in for them.
Graham Fife that time. That shot was blocked by Mark Fredrickson. Elson Seal, I'll tell you, just a magician with the back of his foot here. A heel pass just beautifully done to Mark Fredrickson, who left foots it but got it up just a little bit high. Elson Seal got a goal in this game, the only Kansas City goal on a shot by Mikowski. A tip in very much the same way, just kind of took it off his heel.
Oh, on a backheel just like that.
Oh, Charlie Carey almost did the same thing right there, but Chris Sobieski stopped that one.
I tell you, Rick Benben really rates Sobieski.
The Mikowski shot is stopped that time by John O'Hara, who blocked it. Now Stuart Lee in the corner. Lee centers it. Charlie Carey tries to head it in. Mikowski can't get to the rebound. Carey, two close calls out in front for Charlie Carey.
Another great save by Sobieski. He's good with his hands. He's good with his feet. He's just a complete goalkeeper.
32 years old. He's from Poland. Chris Sobieski, Terlecki, and Petroni stopped him that time.
See the shot come. You're going to see the shot come in, and Sobieski. The shot by Charlie Carey, and Sobieski just gets his hand on it and pushes it out.
Back to live action. Terlecki just took a shot, and at point-blank range, Petroni made another super save. Now he throws the outlet pass for Charlie Carey, but Paul Toomey is there, and he plays it back to Sobieski. And Chris comes up throwing. Look at that. That's the shot. We were showing you the other replay. There is the save while the other tape was up on the replay. Another great stop by Petroni on Stan Terlecki. 9:55 to go in the game. The Comets are down by 3. It's 4-1 Pittsburgh. Here come the black and gold again. Steve Buttle. Charlie Carey has it. Plays it to Petroni. Petroni doesn't have a pass. He'll roll it out to Timmy Clark. Comets with a win tonight could move back into a tie for first with San Diego. Should they lose, they'll drop one full game off the pace. Comets been held to 1 goal in this game. That's the fewest number of goals in a game that Kansas City has scored this season. They scored 2 twice this year in a game, and one of them was against this Pittsburgh team, which beat them 5-2 at Kemper Arena back on December the 18th, and then the New York Arrows held them to 2 goals back on February the 16th.
I'll tell you, this Pittsburgh team looks up to par tonight. They're the Pittsburgh team that we saw last year, came in second in the Eastern Division. They're playing a good game tonight. They have all their players healthy, and it looks like they're going to be tough down this playoff stretch.
8:50 to go in the game. Comets, if they should lose tonight, would have lost their 2nd straight on TV5. We're not bringing them much luck here, are we?
I guess I'm going to get fired after this.
Here's Oron now on a give and go with Zoran Savage, and again Pittsburgh on defense, getting back, packing it in that box area in front of the net, doing another good job. Kansas City having trouble penetrating.
It's really frustrating to come up against a defense like this. They collapse the defense. They're not marking man-to-man, and that is really, really difficult to penetrate. As the Comets begin to penetrate, the defenders go back in, they clog up the penalty area, and you just can't get in or around behind them.
There's a look at the Comets' #1 draft pick, the rookie Billy McCune, who's out for the first time tonight, number 16, the big tall guy from St. Louis. Now here's Zoran Savage. Savage playing it up to Timmy Clark. Clark has it tackled away. Mikowski can't get to it, and it's out of play. A reminder that immediately following tonight's game, stay tuned for the new CBS Fantasy Wizards and Warriors. The Comets will return to action here in just a moment.
Heavy rain here, turning to ice here.
You see on your screen, rookie defender Billy McCune.
And as you were looking at McCune, Mikowski just pumped home a goal to make it a 4-2 game. There's Greg Mikowski, who got the goal. For Mikowski, that is his 24th goal of the year. Mikowski just drove it home here to stop the clock with 7:48. Well, I tell you something, Kansas City gets the goal, and wouldn't you know it, folks, you're not going to get a replay on that. Due to circumstances beyond our control, you are not going to see that goal. Well, the important thing is the Comets are within 2 and got a chance now in this game. They're down by 2. That shot by Paul Child, and Petroni covered up on that one. Now Petroni comes up throwing. It's 4-2 Kansas City as Mikowski has just scored for the Comets his 24th goal of the year. Mikowski with an assist from Anlong. 7 goals now in the last 8 games. And that brings his point total up to 50 points. Not bad for a defender, huh, Chris?
Oh, he's been doing a great job. Come on, he's showing a lot of leadership. Greg Mikowski really likes to take the initiative and go forward. He assumes some responsibility, and the players look to him to bring him out of messes like this. You know, he's just really stable, really consistent, and he's just been doing a great job for us this year.
There's the time remaining in this game, 6:43 and counting. It's 4-2 now, as Mikowski has brought the Comets to within 2. Child turning on that one. It was way wide, and Alioto will bring it up for Kansas City. Alioto to Mikowski. Here's Mikowski looking for Mark Fredrickson, hustling back on defense. Joe Moroni broke it up. Well, Chris, as we said, 3-goal lead doesn't mean anything. You saw what Wichita did.
No, the Comets still have time to come back, and if they just don't panic, they're gonna make a dent in this game here.
Elson Seal now chasing it. He's dogged by Keith Tozier. Tozier's on him. Seal plays it to Fredrickson. Nice move on the defender, Joe Moroni, by Mark Fredrickson. Shot was a little wide. Freddie still has it, though. Fredrickson playing it in the corner. Adam Topolsky has it right there. Topolsky up top to Paul Child. And Child pushed off on Alioto. There'll be a foul here against Pittsburgh.
That was a good play by Tommy Alioto.
Now they're going to call is not on
Child
Pittsburgh.
beats Tommy Alioto here, but he uses his body to get in front of him, and the referee does call obstruction on it.
Call obstruction on Kansas City.
Tommy really didn't have a choice. He had to do that because Child was away. It would have been 1-on-1 on goal.
The Pittsburgh got the free kick. Here's Terlecki now for Pittsburgh. Terlecki. Ostalchik shot. The save by Petroni. Ostalchik in the left corner. Petroni has that one. 5:15 to go. 4-2 Pittsburgh. Comets are in danger of falling a full game behind San Diego, and a game and a half if San Diego wins tomorrow against Los Angeles. They're playing in San Diego. Now Topolsky back for Pittsburgh. Adam Topolsky to Stan Terlecki. Mikowski tackles it away from him. Nice play by Mikowski. Here's Mikowski to Stuart Lee. Back to Mikowski. Gregg goes down. No call. Terlecki there. And here's Ostalchik, tackled away by Charlie Carey. Here's Carey. Carey is run down into the boards by Ostalchik. And the call will be against Pittsburgh. There you see Carey just getting sandwiched.
Charlie gets taken down on the boards there. Looked to me like it could have been a 2-minute penalty. Pittsburgh got a break on that play.
Mikowski plays it off the wall, and Charlie Carey had a chance at an open net, couldn't get his foot on it. Timmy Clark now chasing it down in the Kansas City zone. Mikowski with the 50 points, and oddly enough, 26 of those points have come, I should say, he has scored rather in 26 of 35 games. He has 26 goals on the season, 24 goals on the season, and he has scored 26 of the 35 games. All right, Timmy Clark leaves it for Stuart Lee. Stuart Lee has it tackled away by McKenzie. McKenzie a breakaway, and Petroni with a nice play takes it away. Pittsburgh still has it. A long shot and a goal by Stan Terlecki. Terlecki has made it 5-2 Pittsburgh with his second goal of the night. And then McKenzie takes it up and gets the breakaway on Stuart Lee. McKenzie really got the play going, didn't he?
Yeah, McKenzie beats Stuart Lee here. Victor comes out very alertly and breaks the play up. he really doesn't have a chance on this shot. He's out of position to begin with. He also screened by Stuart Lee, and the ball's in the back of the net. That was a great shot by Stan Terlecki. That's why he's the Spirit's leading scorer.
For Terlecki, his second goal of the game. He now has 48 on the season. It is now 5-2 Pittsburgh with just 3:40 left. Again, a reminder immediately following the game, stay tuned for the new CBS Fantasy, Wizards and Warriors. And then, of course, Eyewitness News with Jamie McFerrin and Thurman Mitchell. Gene Fox will have all the sports and Fred Brodsky all the weather. It's all yet to come tonight here on TV5. This team, a real tough job ahead. They're down by 3 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Stan Terlecki, you remember his coach, John Kowalski, was quoted in the papers as saying he didn't think Terlecki could play much tonight. Well, all he's done is scored 2 goals and get an assist.
He's done a good job today.
All right, the Comets have pulled their goalkeeper. They're down by 3. You saw Timmy Clark put the shirt on. He'll be the designated goalkeeper. There's a look at Chris Sobieski, 32 years old. He's 5'11", 160 pounds, a big, tall guy. He's done a great job tonight. Timmy Clark will be the designated keeper. He will play up, but he has to wear the different colored shirt, of course, so that he can go in the box area and use his hands. He's, in effect, the designated keeper, playing up as a forward. Kansas City now with nobody in the net. Pull out all the stops. They're down by 3 with 3:25 to go. We have not seen a power play in this game tonight. Here's Clark with a rebound, and Sobieski got a piece of that one. Now Savage a drive. Stuart Lee plays it to Oron. Goal! Kansas City with 6 attackers up front, 6 against 5, and Yilmaz Oron makes it 5-3 here with 3:13 to go. Well, it's not over yet. Let's see it again, Chris.
It's not. It's exactly right. It's not over yet. Stuart Lee very alertly plays the ball off the boards here, and Yilmaz touches it in the back of the net past Sobieski. Very alert on Stuart Lee's part to get the ball to Yilmaz on the far post.
All right, it is now 5-3. The Comets still without a goalkeeper. There you see it one more time as Oron just sneaks it in the corner. Yilmaz Oron gets his 34th goal of the year.
Yilmaz with the volley on the far post. Sobieski didn't have a prayer on that ball.
All right, Oron again at center. The Comets with no goalkeeper now pressing the attack. Here's Zoran Savage. Savage to Stuart Lee. Lee off the trademark. Headed out of there by Paul Toomey. Kept in by Mikowski. Sobieski finally got a piece of it, kicked it out. We get a whistle and a foul, and it's against Pittsburgh. So Yilmaz Oron will get the free kick from the touchline. Oron, 34 goals now, 24 assists, 58 points. Oron's shot is blocked. Here's Timmy Clark. He's the goalkeeper. Clark winds up. It's blocked out in front. Mikowski now. Nobody in the net. Timmy Clark and Terlecki. Mikowski loses it. Mikowski losing it to Child. A whistle and a push is being called here against Kansas City.
I don't agree
against
with
Mikowski.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call at all. I think Greg did a good job of using his body. He was shielding the Pittsburgh offensive player off the ball, and he was called for obstruction.
All right, Timmy Clark is the man in the net with Petroni out of there. 2:15 to go in the game. The Comets trail by 2. Here's Sobieski. Elson seal on him. Oron looking for the steal. Almost got a piece of it. Here comes Terlecki. Terlecki. Mikowski tackles it away. Now Mikowski plays it to Timmy Clark, who rolls it out to Stuart Lee. 1:58 to go. We're inside 2 minutes now. Zoran Savage. Tackled away by McKenzie. Oh, they say McKenzie touched it with his hand. Handball is the call by referee Julio Salas. So Kansas City will get the free kick. I'll tell you something, if they could get another quick goal here, Chris, we could have a heck of a finish.
That's no doubt about that. This is a tough break for the Comets. Zoran's taking the ball in here, and I think he's past the defender, and the only way that the defender stops that ball is by handball.
Now Savage is shot, and it's blocked by McKenzie, and it goes up in the seats to stop the clock.
That would have really been, the Comets had 2 players on the far post, another player coming down the middle. Zoran would have been on the right side. That was a great opportunity for the Comets.
There's 1:47 to go. The Comets are down by 2, 5-3. Comets, of course, have 2 more to go on the road here after the night here in Pittsburgh. They'll be in Cleveland Thursday night. Friday night, they'll be in Buffalo. How's that for a back-to-back? Then they come home to Kemper, March 21st against Cleveland. Savage kicks it in with 1:45. Clark, Stuart Lee centering it for Yilmaz Oran. Couldn't get his foot on it. Oran losing it right there out in front. And Pittsburgh clears it. Here's Clark hustling back. Paul Child. Paul Child. Paul Child goal. It's all over. Paul Child breaking in with no keeper in the net. Beat Timmy Clark. We'll be back in a moment. Our score, Pittsburgh 5, Kansas City, or rather Pittsburgh 6, Kansas City 3. This is the keeper, Chris. This puts the game away for Pittsburgh with 1:29 to go. You see Clark hustling back to get to the goal. Kansas City without a keeper. Clark not a goalkeeper. Still managed to get a piece of it, but Child drove it home. For Child, his second goal of the night. He got an assist from Terlecki, and Pittsburgh wants more. With 1:17 to go, Child centering it for Terlecki, who couldn't get to it. I tell you, Terlecki 2 goals tonight, Child 2 goals tonight. Sobieski's played great in the night in the nets. They've killed us. Child's shot goes out of play.
There's something you don't see too often. Both Paul Child and Stan Terlecki on the floor at the same time. Child did a good job on that last play. Very quick counter, very intelligently, went to the goal. And Timmy Clark really couldn't do anything about it. Paul Child's the second all-time leading scorer in the NASL, and he made no mistake about that ball.
We said something at the top of the show that bears mentioning. Here's a Pittsburgh team that was a half a game out of last place, fighting to stay out of the cellar tonight, still with a shot at the playoffs, 3.5 games out of the last playoff spot. We said at the top of the show, this is too good of a team to be in last place in the bottom of the league.
No doubt about it, and if they keep playing like this, they're going to be in the playoffs. This is the way they played last year, and they were second on the top of the league last year.
That's right. They made a run at New York for first place. 50 seconds to go now in the game. It is 6-3 Pittsburgh.
This is a whole different team from the beginning of the season when they were plagued by injuries. They have all their players healthy now, and you really got to give Pittsburgh credit.
You really do. They're a good team. They're finally getting their act together. They've got everybody healthy now, pretty much so, and they're really making a run at that last playoff spot. So you really got to give them a lot of credit. They're a good club. They do not belong at the bottom.
No way. And they have some excellent players on this team.
There's a long pass to Terlecki, an open net. Terlecki goal, hat trick.
That was a brilliant ball by Paul Child. Very intelligent ball, very unselfish ball.
Stan Terlecki gets a hat trick with 30 seconds remaining. It's an open net goal. Paul Child set it up. And those two guys have put on a show tonight for this crowd at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh.
They've been unbelievable tonight. They're 2 world-class players. Stan Terlecki, former national team player from Poland. Paul Child from England. As we mentioned earlier, an outstanding player in the NASL. They're both healthy now. They're both healthy now, and they've just been playing a great game. Those are going to be the 1 and 2 stars of the game tonight. They're up to par from their performances for last year.
Terlecki gets the hat trick. He now has 49 goals of the year, and he's played a super game tonight for a guy who was supposed to have a bad foot and his coach said wouldn't play. 15 seconds left to go in the game. It's all over really here in Pittsburgh. Savage looking for Oran in the corner. So Kansas City will have to regroup. It's on to Buffalo on Thursday, or rather to Cleveland on Thursday and Buffalo on Friday. And there's the horn. Spirit does a job on Kansas City, breaking it open with 3 goals in the 3rd quarter and going on to win it by a score of 7-3. We'll be back to wrap it up here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh in just a moment.
Getty?
Paul Child, he's the #1 star of the game tonight, and rightfully so. Chris, he played a heck of a game.
He was outstanding tonight, as well as Stan Terlecki, and I think you also have to give credit to Chris Sobieski in the goal for Pittsburgh.
Yes, he really did a super job. Stan Terlecki was the #2 star. They gave the #3 star to Steve Buttle. I don't know why, but they did.
I would have thought it was Sobieski. He did such an outstanding job of keeping some of those Comet shots out of the goal.
Well, no win tonight for the Comets, who lose this game 7-3 here in Pittsburgh and hit the road next for Cleveland, Ohio on Thursday, Buffalo on Friday. Our next telecast will come your way from Los Angeles on April the 2nd. Stay tuned. Coming up next, the new CBS Fantasy, Wizards and Warriors, and then the Eyewitness News report from the Eyewitness News Center. Don't forget, tomorrow, a big day of basketball here on TV5. We've got an NCAA doubleheader for you starting at 11 o'clock. MU and Oklahoma State.